The Holy Father also used his talk to highlight World Refugee Day, saying the coronavirus crisis has put a focus on those who need better protection for their dignity and safety. The United Nations celebrated World Refugee Day on June 20th. Joining us now from Rome is Father Thomas Smolich, International Director for the Jesuit Refugee Service. Father Smolich, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Tracy, for this opportunity.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. So tell us, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected migrants and refugees?
You know, it's a very similar situation to what's happening throughout the world. As I think we're all aware, this whole COVID process is sort of unrolling. It's coming in waves in different places. And that's very similar for the experience of migrants and refugees throughout the world. In a sense, the first wave that we were most aware of broke in Europe, after the wave in Asia. Now in our country, in the U.S., there's a strong wave. Latin America is suffering a lot of cases right now, as you know, in Brazil, Ecuador, and Chile, for instance. As of right now, this wave is just beginning, I would say, beginning to break in Africa. Many African countries have a lot of experience with these sorts of things. They close down their countries, they close their borders relatively soon. So hopefully the experience in Africa will be a more flattened curve than some other countries have seen. The experience of migrants and refugees is very similar to local populations. We're not aware of any particular situations which have only been in a refugee camp or in a refugee situation. It seems like this whole sort of process is, in a sense, touching us all. COVID knows no boundaries. COVID knows no difference between locals and refugees.
Father, can you talk about how your organization is asking for a transformation and how people view migrants and refugees? And also, what are your suggestions for transforming the attitude of some toward displaced people?
Thank you very much for that question, because I think it's a very important question at this moment. I think we can get, in a sense, very caught up in the COVID reality, and it is a reality, and forget about the fact that migrants and refugees have been suffering, have been facing challenges before, during, and whatever post-COVID might look like. I think this is an opportunity to focus even more on what is most important: our shared humanity, our common experience as sisters and brothers, as children of God. Pope Francis, in his message for World Day of Migrants and Refugees, which the Church will celebrate on September 27th, he specifically talks about to know is to understand, to come to know the reality of people on the move, to hear their stories, to come to realize that my story as a refugee is not all that different from your story of someone who might live here or someone who might be able to welcome me. It's that building that sense of communion, that sense of being part of the same family, that I think COVID is giving us a different opportunity to deepen and to nourish. COVID doesn't make any distinctions, and we should not make any distinctions either.
Well, Father, thank you so much for your time, and also thank you for what you do. Father Thomas Smolich, International Director for the Jesuit Refugee Service. Thank you again, Father.
Thank you, Tracy, and God bless.